We continue our journey with the holy words of W.E.B. DuBois and James Cone. We're now reading from Cone's final book, Said I Wasn't Going to Tell Nobody. Today I'll read selections from chapter 5, When He Saved My Soul, Learning from My Students. Dr. Cone, you don't know a goddamn thing about the gay experience, a white male student shouted at me from the back of the room in my Foundations in Christian Theology class. I stopped speaking and looked straight at him. What flashed in my mind was a similar outburst I'd made 20 years earlier in a class taught by my advisor, Dr. Watson. But unlike my advisor, I wasn't angry. I knew he was right. I cannot speak for you, but I hope I can inspire you to find your voice as I've found mine. And that's why I teach. While I kept my eyes focused on the young man before me. Your anger is how theology begins. It starts with anger about a great contradiction that can't be ignored. That's what happened to Athanasius in the 4th century, Luther in the 16th, and Barth in the 20th. It also happened to me. If I'd not been angry about white supremacy, I wouldn't have written anything. You're angry, and I understand that. I'm still angry. But anger alone is not enough. You must use it to speak out and to write as creatively as you can about the fire burning in you. Go to the root of your experience and articulate what no one can express except people who hurt like you. That's what I did. You can do it too. My critics were the best thing that ever happened to me as a theologian, even though I didn't think so at the time. Accepting criticism is a hard but necessary lesson to learn. Critics made me think deeper and clearer, never letting me take myself for granted. They kept me on my toes, kept the fire burning over 50 years. Thank God for critics. The worst thing is to be ignored or to have said nothing worth responding to. Silence kills thought and imagination. I've received all kinds of criticism, some worthless and others a blessing. I had to decide what was important and what wasn't. While I read many books on suffering, it was the suffering of black people and how they use their faith to resist dehumanization that defined the way I talk and write about these themes. Williams challenged the heart of black faith and pushed me to the brink of denial, but I refused to step over the edge. To do that would have left me with no place to stand. I chose to stand with the community of faith in which I grew up, the community that sang and preached about the old ship of Zion, which has landed many a thousand. I got on board when I was a child. Black religion has brought many through the storms of life, and the more I dig deep into its meaning, the more I am convicted of it. Suffering in black life took me to the cross of Jesus and the lynching of African Americans. I couldn't stop thinking about their similarities historically and religiously. Peace and blessings.